Allow me to reintroduce myself.
Sam, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me. Nice to see you.
You are a very interesting person, Sam, and I've seen your artwork online. Seeing it in real life now it's unbelievable. So tell me, Sam, how you go from being born with, what was the back problem you had?
Scoliosis I had.
So you had scoliosis, a cleft palate, a hole in your heart, and a twisted stomach.
Yeah.
You was on life support for the first part of your life,
Yeah.
and you had a very little chance of survival. Yeah. How do you go from that to your artwork being recognised by some of the biggest celebrities in the world? Will Smith, Justin Bieber, Danny from The Script. You know, the list goes on and on and on. How does that happen, Sam?
It's all about passion, really. Like, you pick things up when you're, like when you're struggling, like when I'm at the worst times of my life. You find that escapism, and that is probably it. Like, I remember when I was in hospital, drawing, and literally there was just like a spark in my brain, and just that was it. I just knew I wanted to do it the rest of my life, even if I get paid. If I don't, I just know I just want to do it for the rest of my life. Yeah.
So your life starts out. I've seen the video of yourself being a young boy in hospital, and they're about to do the operation to move your index finger to create you a thumb. Yeah. Do you remember that period?
When I look back at the videos, there's some times I remember. Some things I do remember, and some things I don't. Because you're at such a young age. Like, I was like, I remember that bit, but I don't remember. Like, it's just like a bit of a scrambled mindset in it when you're quite young and looking back. But I do remember bits when she took the bandage off. If you see the video, I start crying because it looks like really fat, and it was just a big shock to me. And if you see where she says, the doctor does, like, she gets it, and she says it beforehand in the video. So I remember that very clearly. And then there's some bits where I'm just skipping down the corridor. I just can't remember that. I just can't remember.
As a child, you're going to sleep with your fingers in one position. You're waking up with it somewhere else. Yeah, it's just and I imagine that's scary. That's scary.
It's like, wow, yeah.
But what I did find also really interesting about that video is at the end you're drawing a picture for the nurse. Yeah. Is that where it started, Sam?
That is, yeah. Literally, I just remember it clear as day as well. I think when people have those premonitions of what they want to do for the rest of their life, I had that. Like, I could just remember it. Like, I just remember just drawing, getting lost in it, and but Mum was like, do a drawing for the nurse, say thank you and all this. I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And then, like, she said to me, like, you was just silent for like half an hour to an hour. I was just like, really? I can't remember. But I remember just like, got to get this right, got to get this bit right, I've got to do this, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think that was like the spark that started it all for me, really. Yeah.
Do you find yourself when you're drawing that you can just get lost? You know, you sort of think you're going to spend 20, 30, 40 minutes drawing, and then all of a sudden 4 or 5 hours has gone by and you're just engrossed into it.
Yeah, that's the main part I love about it, because it just gets rid of all your troubles, your problems, and that's why I love it. Like, the more hours I spend on it, the more like of an achievement it is as well, but also it can be really draining and mentally a challenge as well. So, yeah, there's upsides to it and there's downsides to it as well. So, yeah.
Sometimes you get a bit sick of it.
Yeah, that's true. It's when I'm forcing it is the most, when I start to get annoyed, and trying to force work that isn't working is probably when I get it most, to be fair, yeah.
Do you feel like this is your identity, and that sometimes if you don't keep up with that output of, I have to do another drawing, and then it sort of becoming more of a chore than a passion? Yeah,
that's what it is. I think as well with social media, keeping up with the likes and the followers is not a good thing. It can be a good thing. Say, like, if you do a really good drawing that absolutely like explodes on Facebook or Instagram, if you try and beat that, it's not going to happen again. And if you try and do it, it mentally messes up with my head especially. So Yeah, it is one of those.
So growing up, Sam, tell me about that. What was it like growing up?
I loved growing up. You can see it in my drawings, really, like that feeling of not caring as a kid and not, just not caring and having no worries, no, just going out playing. And I think having that passion as well and all that little childhood memories and stuff is just, that's why I do what I do. Like, I always go back, I never go forward with my work, and I love feeling like that.
Growing up, did you, was there periods where you didn't draw, or have you always drawn?
I think I've always drawn, like, ever since then anyway, because, like, I have to go back into hospital and stuff, and I'm like, I didn't really see it as a big thing now, like, your parents and stuff are, like, so crucial on how to deal with that, like, having a child go into hospital, but they've got to make sure it's a normal thing for you, because if they're like, oh God, if he dies under anaesthetic, you know what I mean? It's just going to be like a massive panic for you, or if they say something wrong to you, and it panics you. It's like it starts to play with you. Then it's like it's not normal to you, and then you start to second guess it. But I'm lucky to have people around me that saying you are normal, you are. You like as everyone else.
Who was your biggest crutch? Who did you lean on the most growing up?
I'd probably say my sister or my mum. It's really, probably my sister. I'm a big sister, to be fair. She got me into football. She got me into everything like normal. Like, obviously I had my art as well, but like she'd go out and play with Sport United. She was my second dad, really. Like, we did everything together when we were growing up, and she was a massive influence.
Given your disabilities growing up, I imagine confidence played a big part of your life, but do you think that she constantly instilled that confidence in you, like, come on, Sam, you're coming to do it?
And as I've got older, I've had people, like my best friend, he's been very similar as well, like, so as she's, like, fell away a bit and gone on with her life, I've had a really good friend who's kept me doing those things as well, like, just come on, Sam, you can do it, you can, like, do this, you can, don't be stupid.
What was your first piece of artwork that got recognised?
Rizzle Kicks, I think I did some work for them. They were just coming, they started to get big, to be fair. The first album was going to drop soon and stuff, and I was looking at stuff that they liked on Twitter and stuff like that. Did a bit of research. I really liked their music as well, not growing up, but like when I was younger, early 20s, I'd say. And then I seen what they started to post, and I started to dig deeper on what they actually liked. And I was like, oh, you know what, I'm going to do a little bit of a drawing for them, just something completely different that no one's done before. So I did like this drawing of them standing together with like dog heads. They've got like these dog heads replaced instead of the normal heads. They absolutely loved it. And then they put it on their merchandise website, and I was like, wow, that's just like, I kind of connected with what they wanted at that time. Yeah. And then further down and in the line, they had a picture of, I think I've got it somewhere, I have a picture, they're both wearing it, they've got the shirt on, and I'm actually sitting there, they sit on the drawing as well. I was like, they're legends, man. They were so good for doing that.
And did that make you really think to yourself, wow, I've got something here, like I'm talented? I don't like blow my own trumpet, to be fair, but like I feel like I can connect with people on what they want to see as well as myself, you know what I mean? So in your work here, have you got the first, was this the first one that you were really happy with, that you thought, this is my best piece?
Yeah, I think that's one of my favourites. I just think the feeling it, like when I was doing it as well, I just know, there was very rarely I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. And I just knew this was going to turn out really nice and vibrant. And
so like for the people that are listening to this podcast, Sam, this is Pennywise with Freddy Krueger. You've got Chucky, you've got Jason, you've got The Exorcist, you've got, who we got up here? You've got Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you've got the Halloween. What's this one here, Sam?
Hellraiser, and then you've got The Nun as well.
The Nun and Hellraiser, yeah, fantastic. So that's what I mean, Sam. Your pictures, they sort of dig deeper and dig deeper all the time.
I like that. I'd never really picked up on it before until people started to say it to me, like, I just could look at your work for a few hours, and that's really good though. Like, if it's different, like, no one really, like, you look at a picture of, like, for a couple of minutes on Instagram, like a selfie, you'll look at that for, like, I don't know, 20 seconds, like it, and then swipe up, do you know what I mean? But if you're, like, actually looking and spotting things that you ain't really noticing, you're looking at it a little bit longer, it's unique, do you know what I mean? So
you spoke with Rizzle Kicks. Where did you go from there? Where's the next point? You start drawing more and more and more.
So the next thing was the Justin Bieber thing. Again, it was very similar to how the Rizzle Kicks thing happened. I seen what Bieber liked at that time. Like the things he was wearing, dig deeper on the songs he was singing, get in his mindset a bit more. And then I did a drawing, I think it was like, he was kind of like a bit gory. He was like a skeleton version of himself. And this was a point where he was spiralling down as well in his career. I think he was around about 22 or something. So I dug deep on that and sent it Adidas. He was working with Adidas at the time. He loved it, but I don't think the company did like it as much. But he said, keep up the good work. And I was just like, wow, that's going to push me even more now. Do you know what I mean? So
This one.
Tell
me the story of this one.
This one.
And tell me where this piece is now.
I really don't know where the original is, but one of my worst ever pieces, to be honest, in my eyes anyway. Very sketchy, very like just quick drawn 2 days thing, and then next thing I know, it's on Will Smith's post. I'm like, what the hell? Like, how?
So Will Smith has seen this and he's reshared it on his page and tagged you in it. Tell me the story of how he saw it, because I found that quite interesting.
Yeah.
And I thought it was quite cool what he did in the sense of how he found you out and looked you up.
Yeah, so this piece was done in 2017. It wasn't well known when I did it. Like, I wasn't, like, he didn't know, not many people seen it. But someone turned it into a meme. He was quite well known for doing memes. I don't know who it was, I'm not sure. But that started to grow. This posted what he shared. But he took that artwork of mine and then made it into a meme. And then I started eyeing it up every day. I was like, oh, this is getting big. Like, people are tagging me in it and stuff like that. Then next thing I know, I think it's like a few days later, he shared it, but it wasn't the meme. It was actually my work.
So Will Smith has seen the meme, thought the artwork was fantastic, looked you up and reshared your original post and tagged you in it.
Yeah, that's like what a legend. Like he's just gone out of his way to find me to post it and say, look at this artwork. Like, wow, like that. Like, I can never like thank him enough. He's put me on a platform now. I could do art for the rest of my life. Do you know what I mean? One thing could just completely change your business mindset, your passion, your drive, everything.
And that was from Will Smith wanting to credit the actual artist instead of just the meme.
Yeah, that's all it took though. That's all it needed to take for me to, for me quitting my job and then doing it full time.
Fast forward, 2020 or 2019, you start talking to a famous music artist you've caught his eye, he likes your work, you start talking to him. Tell us who that is.
Danny O'Donoghue. Oh, yeah.
Danny O'Donoghue, lead singer of The Script. He DMs you, he likes your work.
That was a strange one. I think we was all in a vulnerable place, like it was locked down. I just added him one day. I just followed him. I knew he was on Instagram and stuff. Next thing I know, he followed me straight back, and I was like, whoa. Then he started messaging me, DMing me and saying, like, he loves my work and stuff like that. Didn't expect that either. I was like, what the hell? And then he said, I love art. It motivates him as well, not just music. So I was like, he said, come down one of the days or do a piece of artwork for me. I'd love it, and I'll put it in my studio. So I did it. Went down, and he's such a nice guy, like, just really nice person. Like, I was like, you right, mate? I was like, oh, okay. Like, it's fine. Like, oh, yeah, you're right, man. So, come on, let's go into the studio. We'll have a bit of a chat and stuff. And, like, he's told me what inspires him, and I've told him what inspires me and stuff like that. And I had a really good chat, and I was just like, that's even motivated me even more, do you know what I mean, to do what I want to do. So these little things, these little moments are like things that motivate me, you know what I mean, and keep doing what I'm doing and never give up, man, never give up.
I don't think they realise, we was having a chat off camera, and you were saying that at the time that you added Danny and you started speaking, you was at one of your lowest points, and that really sort of lifted you out of a hole, just that bit of kindness, and you
that's all it took.
And it really sort of made you feel about your work again, like get the passion again.
Yeah, I think it was just the case of lockdown and just being in the same place. Like, I can't deal with it, right? And working from home on top of that as well. It's just like, I'm gonna like be here a lot, you know what I mean? And it's just like, I need to get out. And then it went from one of the worst weeks, to being one of the best weeks in one day. Do you know what I mean? It's just, well, that needs a little kick up the bum, you know what I mean? Kick up the bum, yeah.
So, Sam, tell me, we was having a chat off air, and you were saying to me about the work you do now, going into schools, talking to children with disabilities, and sort of showing people that no matter what your disability is, no matter what odds are stacked against you, you can, do absolutely anything you want.
Yeah, it's true. Like, I think it's such a gift going into schools. Like, I never really thought, oh God, I was going to teach naughty kids. I don't really want to do it, to be honest. But my mum pushed me. Said, "I'm a good group of kids. Like that, I bet you'll understand and you'll get it." But it's such a rewarding thing to do. So I went in, did some art classes with them, and I could pick up on what I went through with some of the kids, and I was just like, so I used to go over and go, like, just trying to bring them up a bit, like, oh, that's really good, though, carry on. And some kids, they'll have a little strop and go, I can't do it, and they get really frustrated. And I'm like, you can, you know what, that is, like, really good, though, but they can't see it.
Do you feel that with your work a lot?
Yeah, that's probably why I really wanted to go, no, that is really good. You don't see what I see. Most kids that are really playing up or are, like, really, like, disruptive in school, they're the best drawers, like, they are, by far. Like, my mum, when I speak to my mum, like, he was really good in class today, wasn't he? And it should be like, yeah, but he's like he's really struggling at, like, maths, English, or whatever. And I'm like, you can tell what that doesn't have I think in schools there needs a sort of, like, escape. Yeah.
So you was working, sorry, Sam, you was working full time, and you're doing your artwork. Yeah. The Will Smith thing happens. You make a bit of money off of that, and you just thought, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to do what I love full time.
Yeah, that period was weird. I didn't know where I stood, to be fair. Like, in a way, like, shall I carry on working, or shall I do what I love forever? And people say, don't they, if you quit, if you do the job you love forever, you won't have to work a day in your life, or something like that.
Yeah, correct.
Something like, I don't think like that, all right. But it is true. It is 100% true. Like, as soon as I quit the job, I was just like, I love like, every day is just a better day. Like, I love it.
Do you think you chase that high with the social media stuff? Like you said to me, you had a 12,000 followers or something, and you went to bed, Will Smith shares your post, you wake up 50, 60,000 followers. Do you chase that high of when you put a piece up? And also, do you feel the lows when you put a piece up, that you put it up and it doesn't do well? You sort of feel you're a bit down, and then when you do a piece and you don't think it's going to do well and it does really well, you sort of get a high from it.
Yeah, I know. It's a hard one, that is. The ones that I really want to do well obviously don't do well, like the mental health stuff.
This is when you was in a really bad place, and you just thought, I don't know what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to start drawing. Yeah. And you said you was inspired by a song. Tell us that story, Sam.
So it was lockdown again. And struggling what to do, and I was listening to a lot of Linkin Park, so I wasn't helping myself, do you know what I mean? So all depressive songs and stuff. And then this song come on, I never heard of theirs before, called Robot Boy. So I listened to it, and the song just really hit me. and then I listened to. I swear, I think I listened to it like over and over and over, and I was drawing at the same time, and I was just gone. I was like I was listening to it again and again, repeat. And then finished it. I was like spaced out, and I looked at it, like, wow, like this is like what I want. Like it's like a revolution, like revelation. Sorry,
Revelation, yeah.
Yeah, like what this is like. That's the way I want to go down with my personal art, anyway. So I feel like I've got my personal art, which is my mental health charity. What I do, like I raise money for Mind. I do a lot of like off artwork, and then I do like my promotional stuff, which is like people want to things that what people want to see, like the Will Smiths, the Jack Blacks, all that sort of stuff. So I think that's kind of good to have that as well.
Because another thing that shocked me is your artwork is worth obviously a lot of money, and you never sell your art, do you?
No, I can't. I just can't.
You only ever give 1 or 2 pieces away, either to charity or you gave one to Danny, but you never sell your art.
I can't. I don't know. Like I look at a piece, I'm like, I know how I felt that day. It's just like a part of me. I think like it sounds stupid, but every piece of art tells a story, and it tells what I was feeling that day. Or people don't get that though. It's just like to be fair, like it's the same with musicians. They put out a song that meant a lot to them, and you can see what it meant to them, and they kind of then thousands of people want it, but it's theirs. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's weird with art because the emotions behind it. There's a lot of emotion behind it. Sounds really corny, but it's true. Like if I'm looking at this drawing now, like I know what I went through, like mentally through it, and it's just I don't know. Like when someone says, "Oh, I'll buy that off you for X amount of money," I'm like, you don't really understand what I felt when I did that. So I really can't. I don't know.
Because I asked you the question. We're sitting here, and you've got a folder full of your original artworks, and I said, if someone come in and said, "I'll give you £1 million for that folder," you looked at me straight in the eye. No way.
I can't. Like, it's really tempting, but I can't. I get anxious taking it about with me, to be honest. Like, I'm like, it's my life. It literally is my life, like in pages. That's all it is. Like, I can tell you what I was feeling that day, every drawing, and oh yeah, I felt shit that day. I drew that. You know what I mean? It's weird. It's a weird thing. Like, it's a weird thing. It's like looking back on your life. Really, a piece of art is like a certain part of your life.
Photo album.
Yeah, like a photo album. Yeah.
Do you think being an artist where it's it's really solo, and you said to me you listen to music a lot of the time when you're doing it and you sort of zone out, do you think that you suffer the anxiety more when you go out because what you do most of your life, you're alone, it's you and your thoughts, and it's just putting your thoughts on paper?
Yeah, definitely. Like the worst I get my anxiety is when, say, like I'm all week doing a session, like a project, and then my mate's like, "Oh, there's a few lads coming to the pub." I swear to God, like the moment when I hear that, I'm like, whoa, it's like an overwhelming feeling, and I'm like, oh my God, I start to shake, and I'm like, yeah, I'm defo there, but I don't tell him, I'm like, yeah, I'll defo come, and I'm like, yeah, I'll pretend I'm like all ready and sweet, and then the day comes, and then I'm getting ready, that part when you leave the house to see him, my anxiety is like through the roof. I'm like, oh, well, if I ain't seen phrase, what do I talk about? What do I say to him? And shall I give him a drink, or what did I drink? You know what I mean? Just overthinking things. And because I'm in such a bubble in the week, it's just me and my thoughts drawing, and then I'm just in the big wide world like that, and I'm like, whoa, it's it's a shock. Like,
this is the first time you've really done an interview and told your story in your life, isn't it?
Yeah, it is definitely. This is a massive step for me. Like, but I feel like I've got something to say. Like, I feel like I've got a story to tell, and it could either be a really depressing one or a really uplifting one. It depends how you look at it, really. But just play a massive part. But I'm 30 now, and I just want to do as much as I can before I die. It sounds depressing, but
that does sound depressing.
But like again, like you said, like I've been through a lot since I was a kid, so I've got to make the most of it. like I was on life support and stuff. You know what I mean? I'm like glass half full now. Like you're not half empty anymore.
I mean, you got a really good buzz about you, Sam, and I really appreciate you coming down to show us your artwork. And I hope anyone watching or listening to the podcast are inspired, and you're a prime example of no matter how the cards are stacked against you, and you truly can do whatever you want. You can live the life you want.
Cheers. That means a lot. Thank you.
So, thank you for coming on, Sam. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure we'll catch up again soon.
Yeah, definitely. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Deuce myself.